The Prophet's Love. Fourth incident. Love in Service. Tonight is episode 4 of our series, The Prophet's Love. And we're going to look at something that is often forgotten when we talk about love, and that is justice. In a world of emotions and relationships, fairness is the anchor that keeps the heart secure. And the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was also a model of fairness. Close your eyes. Breathe gently. Let your heart enter a time when love was measured not just by words, but by balance, equality, and justice. As you know, the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had more than one wife. Each of them had a unique personality, a unique story, and a special place in his life. There was Aisha, young, sharp, and playful. There was Hafsa, intelligent and disciplined. There was Salama, wise and gentle. There was Safiya, kind-hearted and deeply spiritual. And the list goes on. It would have been easy to favor one, to give more time to one, to smile more with one, but the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made sure never to let that happen. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept a strict schedule. Each wife had her own day and night with him. Even when traveling, he would draw lots, a fair system, to decide which wife would accompany him. One time, when Aisha's name was drawn, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam traveled with her. She was thrilled, but she also noticed something beautiful. He gave her time, space, and full attention. But he didn't just divide time, he also divided emotions fairly. He never joked more with one and ignored another. He never complimented one while staying silent with the rest. His love was consistent. His behavior was balanced. And his wives? They never doubted his justice. Once near the end of his life, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam became very ill. Even then, his sense of fairness did not disappear. He began to ask permission from all his wives to stay in the home of Aisha radiyallahu anha, where he felt most comfortable. He didn't just move there. He asked each wife, one by one, "Do you give me permission?" And every single one of them said yes, because they knew he had never been unfair to them. They trusted his love. They trusted his intention. That's what fairness builds. Trust. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was also fair with his words. One day, Safiya radiyallahu anha felt hurt when some people called her names due to her Jewish ancestry. She came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam upset. He didn't just tell her, "Ignore them." He lifted her heart by saying, "You are the daughter of a prophet. Your uncle was a prophet, and you are married to a prophet. So what do they have over you?" Subhanallah. With just one sentence, he removed her sadness and gave her dignity. And he did this for each of his wives, uplifting them with the right words at the right time. Once, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made a powerful dua. "Ya Allah, this is how I divide what I can control. So do not blame me for what I cannot control." What did he mean? He meant that while he could divide his time, gifts, and attention equally,
He could not control the natural leaning of the heart. But even then, he was aware of it. He feared being unfair even in what he could not fully manage. That is taqwa. That is real love, fearing to hurt others even when no one would blame you. Many people today confuse love with passion, but the Prophet ﷺ showed us that real love is guided by justice. When we treat one child better than another, when we praise one person and ignore another, when we offer time, affection, or care to one and deny it to others, we are not following the Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ balanced his home like a scale. Every smile, every visit, every touch, it was weighed with the heart of a just man. Imagine this. It's evening in Medina. The call to prayer has just faded. The Prophet is finishing dinner with Hafsa. He says kind words, makes her feel special. Then he gets up and gently walks to Aisha's home. He knocks, she opens, he smiles, and the same love, the same energy, the same presence, it arrives with him. Not tired, not distracted, but present every time, because he understood something powerful. Fairness is a form of love. Why it matters today. We may not have multiple spouses, but we still have people who depend on our fairness. Children, students, parents, friends, siblings. How do we treat them? Do we divide our attention equally? Do we speak to one and ignore another? Do we listen with our full hearts, or only when we feel like it? Tonight's episode is not just about the Prophet ﷺ. It's about us and how we can bring prophetic justice into every relationship. Final reflections and dua. Dear listener, we have now seen that fairness in love is not about being cold, but about being clear, balanced, and kind to all. The Prophet ﷺ mastered this. He was a husband of justice, a friend of fairness, a leader of balance. Let us try to carry that spirit in our own hearts. Dua. Ya Allah, make us fair like your beloved Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Help us love with balance, give with wisdom, and speak with justice. Let us never hurt one by favoring another. Let us never forget that fairness is a sunnah. And may our homes reflect the beauty of prophetic balance. Now rest, dear heart. Sleep in peace, knowing that justice is part of love.
The Prophet's Love, 5th episode, The Language of Love. Over the last 4 episodes, we have walked through the loving, gentle, and patient ways of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with his wives. Tonight, in episode 5, we'll explore something truly beautiful, the language of love he spoke through small gestures, kind words, affection, and presence. So close your eyes, breathe in peace, and let us begin the final chapter of this soulful story. Love is in the details. Many people think love is about grand gestures, expensive gifts, poetry, or dramatic confessions. But the Prophet ﷺ taught us that real love is often quiet,
steady and deep, shown in the smallest of ways. He didn't speak about love with empty words. He lived it, moment by moment, with sincerity. Sharing the cup. One day, Aisha was drinking from a cup. She handed it to the Prophet ﷺ. He didn't just take a sip. He turned the cup and drank from the exact spot where her lips had touched. Can you imagine how that made her feel? Seen, valued, loved. That's what love does. It makes people feel special in small, sacred ways. Calling her by sweet names. The Prophet ﷺ used to call Aisha by gentle nicknames. He would call her Ya Aish or Humaira, meaning the one with rosy cheeks. Once Aisha asked him, "How is your love for me?" He replied, "Like a strong knot." Later, she would occasionally ask, "How is the knot?" And he would smile and say, "Just as strong as ever." That was his language of love. Simple, heartfelt, steady. Resting in her lap. During some of the most difficult moments in his life, the Prophet ﷺ chose to be close to his wife. He would rest his head in Aisha's lap. She would gently comb his hair. Sometimes she would recite Quran over him. Other times they would sit in silence, just breathing, heart to heart. Even when he was in spiritual states of deep worship, he never forgot the emotional needs of his wife. He made time. He made space. He was present. The Prophet ﷺ didn't hide his love behind closed doors. When people asked him who he loved most, he would say, Aisha. They asked again, thinking he would name a male companion. He smiled and said, her father. He never shied away from honoring his wife in front of others. Even when he prayed and Aisha was near, he would stretch out his feet toward her. If she moved, he adjusted gently, without anger or complaint. These were silent words of love, spoken with comfort and connection. The race of hearts. Remember the famous story? Aisha and the Prophet ﷺ were traveling. When they were alone, he suggested a race. She ran. She won. They laughed. Later, when she gained weight, he raced again and won. He playfully said, "This one is for that one." They were not just married, they were companions of the heart. He laughed with her, he played with her, he made her feel like the most important person in the world. Romantic without needing words. Even when silent, his love was visible. Aisha once said, "The Prophet never looked at another woman the way he looked at me." His eyes didn't wander, his heart didn't roam. He was emotionally loyal, faithfully present. He didn't need poetry or flowers. His love was in the way he listened, the way he respected, the way he remained patient, even in moments of frustration. Lessons for us. What can we learn from his language of love? That touch matters, even a gentle hand on the shoulder. That words can heal. A simple compliment can brighten a day. That presence is powerful. Being emotionally available is more valuable than being physically near, but mentally distant. That loyalty is love, and guarding the heart is the highest form of affection. Imagine one final night. The lantern glows in the home of Aisha. The Prophet ﷺ enters, greets her with peace, and smiles. He sits. She hands him water. He drinks from her spot. She laughs. He lays his head in her lap. She gently brushes his beloved hair. No arguments, no shouting, no cold silences. Just peace, just love, just presence. This is the prophetic home, carrying the Sunnah into our lives. We often think Sunnah is only about prayer, fasting, or beard length, but Sunnah also lives in how we love, in how we speak kindly, apologize sincerely, forgive quickly, smile regularly, touch gently, and listen deeply. This is prophetic love, and we can all practice it in every home. Final reflections and dua. Dear listener, as we conclude our journey through the Prophet's love, let us remember the Messenger ﷺ didn't just teach Islam with his words. He taught it with how he loved, how he served, how he treated the hearts closest to him. Let us take this sunnah seriously. Let us speak the language of love, not just in romance, but in respect, in care, and in kindness. Dua. Ya Allah, let our homes echo with the love of your Prophet ﷺ. Fill our marriages with affection, respect, and joy. Teach us to speak love fluently with our hands, our smiles, and our silences. And let us walk in the footsteps of the most loving man to ever live. Now close your eyes, dear soul, and rest, knowing that love lived once in Medina, and it can live again in your heart.